Good evening. It is Tuesday night, April 10th, 2018. It's the eve before the Stanley Cup playoffs, and all through our houses, not a beard was stirring, not even a Bob Ross. I don't know. Welcome to this Teal Town Live special. It is the Stanley Cup playoffs preview, presented by yours truly and all my crew. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Do it right now. Like, smash it. Hit that bell. That tells you when we're on the air. We do a post-game show after every single Sharks game, home and away. So by all means, make sure you join us throughout the evenings as the Sharks race towards Lord Stanley's Cup. Of course, you want to be a part of the show, please do so. Join us in the YouTube chat on the page or the app. We'll take some of your comments throughout tonight. Also use that hashtag TealTownUSA, and also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, SoundCloud, and YouTube. With me tonight is the guy who spells his name the right way, and his laundry is finally back. Let's hope the win streak is as well. Eric Landy.
All hail the laundry. All hail the laundry. Okay.
Oh, God. Help us all. Also joining us is Gentry Alexander Notchbro. How are you, bud?
I'm good. I'm ready to do this thing and talk some hockey, and especially some playoff hockey, because this is when I tend to shine.
Oh, boy. He isn't a good predictor for nothing, folks. And also joining us, we can't call him the new guy anymore. We'll call him...
Well, he's in his sophomore.
With the sweet jacket, I'll say that. Okay. Mr. Alex Martinet.
Hey. Time for that hockey. Best time of the year.
Absolutely. This is our Christmas.
It's Christmas in July, bitches. But actually April.
Oh, well, yeah, April. I was going to say, wait a minute, what? It's like, wait, who did we draft then in that case? All right. First things first, something we probably meant to mention over the time, the terrible tragedy in Humboldt, Saskatchewan, with the Humboldt Broncos. Just amazing outpouring throughout the hockey world, and we send our thoughts and well wishes to all those affected. If you haven't already, go check out the GoFundMe page. It's getting close and close to $7 million to help the families and the team affected by this horrible tragedy. So we send our love and support to all of you, and we hope you're doing all right. And I know a bunch of us left out their sticks out for Humboldt. We'll do that again tonight as well. So with that, guys, let's get into it. We will first start off in the Eastern Conference, as we always do. As we have, come on, button will open up. There we go. We will begin with New Jersey versus Tampa Bay. Now, Tampa Bay was hands down the toughest team to beat all season. They started lagging off at the end there. Meanwhile, New Jersey kept having a good run here and there throughout the season and gets into the postseason as a wild card. So I will start with you, Mr. Martinet. Your thoughts on Tampa and New Jersey?
I think this is going to be one of the best series to watch. I think New Jersey has a lot of talent. I also think Tampa Bay is a superior team. I think they're going to be in the Eastern Conference Finals. I thought they made enough good trades during the trade deadline. I think this is the end of the road, though, for New Jersey, with Taylor Hall doing as much as he can, similar to the Colorado Avalanche. I do think this is probably going to go roughly 5 or 6 games at max. This is definitely not going to be a 7-game series. I think Tampa Bay just doesn't have enough, weaknesses for New Jersey to exploit.
All right, Gentry.
I got Tampa in 6. I love their roster from top to bottom. They've got the depth. They've definitely got the goaltending. If they can just, hopefully Vasilevsky is, not too tired to play in playoff hockey. But I just think that you're going to have all their guns back. They're going to have Stamkos back. They're going to have, Nikita Kucherov, who I felt like should have gotten the Hart, who should get more Hart consideration or talks for the season. I like New Jersey. I like their Cinderella story of the year, but it's going to end, and I think the only person that's really going to show up for them in this series is going to be Taylor Hall. But I think Keith Kincaid is going to falter in his first ever playoff start.
Gotcha. All right, and Mr. Landy.
Yeah, I've got Tampa Bay in 5 on this one. I think Taylor Hall can single-handedly win a game for them, but unfortunately, Tampa Bay is just got layer upon layer upon layer of offensive talent, defensive talent. They're the most stacked team in the East. They're the class of the East in my expectation and in my opinion. I have them in 5.
As for yours truly, I think Tampa wins this in 6. I think New Jersey might give them a brief shock early on. Maybe they had a split in Tampa, but Tampa Bay is going to take over and no problem. They've been this well dominated all year long, and I think they can keep it going here. So a sweet full round for all of us for Tampa, and we get set to move on to the series that pretty much everybody in Toronto did not want. It's Toronto and Boston. That's right. The rematch of the 2013 series that saw the epic comeback from Boston late in the third period of Game 7. So with that, guys, Gentry, I will. Hey, J-Tech, me, Tampa in 3. Yeah, of course. Gentry, I'll start with you. The rematch with Toronto and Boston.
I've actually got Toronto beating Boston in 5. And I know, a lot of people are looking at me like, Gentry, you must be on crack. Well, actually, crack is expensive here in California, so I'm not on that. I honestly I feel like there is a lot of guys still on that Toronto roster that remembers 2013 have just been, just priming and wishing for a redemption, series against Boston. And I think that, while Boston has come on hot, after I think it was December, I just think I think Toronto's got too much young guns who are motivated and ready to go. That's why I say it. And Frederik Andersen can steal the series for them. So I'd say Toronto in 5.
All right, so Toronto in 5 from Gentry. We'll go with Mr. Landy here.
Yeah, I've actually got this one going 7 games. I really think that if Toronto can keep it a high-scoring affair, they're going to have a better shot here. But it's going to be all up to Patrice Bergeron and how much he can suppress. Brad Marchand being Brad Marchand. But, man, that defensive core for Toronto is not great. It's not really battle-tested. But like I said, if Toronto keeps it a high-scoring affair, we're talking like 4 or 5 goals, for them for each game. It's got the makings to be a really, really interesting series. It's going to be your best defense versus my best offense, and I have Boston emerging with the slimmest of margins here, and I just give it to the playoff experience.
All righty, Mr. Martinet, you are kind of the tiebreaker here. Who do you say, Toronto or Boston?
I don't know who to pick because, honestly, I think both teams are kind of coming on a losing streak. Boston has lost the last 4 out of 5. Same deal with Toronto, 3 out of 4. It just seems like both teams are kind of slumping at the wrong time of the year, but they got pinned against the right competition. If I was just looking at pure talent, though, I'd probably say Boston. I think they match up pretty well, and I think they're more built for playoff hockey. We saw how Austin Matthews last year was really good against the Capitals, but the Capitals can make a lot of teams good in the playoffs. So I'm going Boston in 6, but it wouldn't surprise me if this is a 7-game series.
All right, so Alex goes with 6 games for Boston. Landy goes with 7. Gentry goes Toronto in, what was it? In 5? You said 5. I'm going to go with Toronto in 7. This is one of those series like we've mentioned in the past, I think with like Pittsburgh and Columbus. This one is too good of a series to have in the first round, which is, you would always complain about the realignment and such. This one kind of hurts that such. But you guys, ceremony of Austin Matthews, come on. No, but all seriousness, I think this team is a little more built than it was in 2013 for Toronto. Definitely has a little more better net minding with Frederick Anderson.
And it doesn't have dead weight like Dion Phaneuf.
Yeah, but you guys are right about Marchand and Bergeron, but they have some nice core pieces coming up too. Talk about like Charlie McAvoy, Torrey Krug is back there. He's been great defensively, and it also helps that you have good goaltending on the Boston side. But I just think Toronto's got a little bit more of an edge there, so it's a split between us. I think if I look at all my stats here. AJ mentioned Boston in 7 or Toronto in 8. I don't know if they actually stretch it to a best of 9, but whatever. All right, moving onward to another good series that should be fun. Columbus versus Washington. This one is, I don't know. I have a sense that it's going to be a spoiler, but we'll see about that. Landy, what do you say about the Neon Buggers versus the Caps?
The Caps are very much the Sharks East. They have a very soft spot in my heart. I've always loved Alexander Ovechkin. It's been my favorite non-Shark player since he came into the league. I have the Caps winning in 6, and I tell you why. I think that up front, I think that they match up really well against the Blue Jackets. On the defensive side, they're a little weak, and that's for sure. But I think what's going to be the interesting X factor here, and what I think is going to be kind of their ace in the hole, so to speak, is it's going to be goaltending. And I think what you'll probably see, I mean, I know Philip Grubauer was tapped for the first for the first game, but if he falters in that first game, I really think that you'll get Holtby back in there, and Holtby will have something to prove. Or you'll have Grubauer, who has a chip on his shoulder because he's the understudy. So either way, I think you're going to get some good goaltending out of the Capitals. I have the Caps in 6. I think the Neon Buggers will give them a little bit of a scare. But, I think I still have the Caps in 6.
All right. Alex, Columbus and Washington.
I just don't know much about Columbus Blue Jackets in terms of the roster. I am a little bit scared, though, in terms of the Capitals' goaltender situation. They're still up in the air about who's going to start game 1, and that's just not really a good sign in my book. I would say that it wouldn't surprise me if this goes 7 games and the Columbus Blue Jackets do steal this one. They have the talent, but I think this might just be a 6-game series for the Capitals, who do have a lot of good playoff experience, but not in the second round. So I think this is a definite first round win for the Capitals.
All right. Gentry?
I got the Caps in 5. I just think that, past playoffs, have kind of shown that the Blue Jackets just haven't been able to get it done. I don't believe in Bobrovsky in the playoffs. He hasn't performed that well. And, while I do like the roster for the Blue Jackets, I think you got to look at the Rocket Richard, winner of the year, and I think he's got a chip on his shoulder. He didn't get to go to the Olympics. He watched from afar as his countrymen, won gold, and I think he's kind of looking at that, and he's like, I at least got to get a cup while I'm still kind of in my prime. So I think the Caps are going to decimate the Bobrovsky and the Blue Jackets in 5.
All right. So all three go with Caps. I'm going to say this is probably where I think Bobrovsky might steal a series. And I think where a goaltender didn't come into play, or comes into play and just plays spectacularly. It also helps that Panarin has been on a good run this year for Columbus. Apparently, he didn't eat Patrick Kane to be a star.
Let's talk about that real quick. How much of a misstep was that trade? I mean, goodness gracious, what a lopsided trade. I mean, this is we're approaching Taylor Hall for Larson here.
Oh.
Yeah, I could say that. You could say that big time. I think you could also say that Taves wanted his buddy back, and when you win 3 Stanley Cups, I guess you get that clout, perhaps. But yeah, that was a huge mistake for Chicago. Panarin, the bread maker, the bread man, whatever you want to call him, I think can help this team out. It won't be easy. I think Game 7 will be going overtime. AJ tells me he's going to go with 6 in Columbus. No, that's crazy. But whatever. They are. Columbus is primed for the upset, in my opinion. So we move on to the series that NBC just loves: Pittsburgh and Philadelphia. That's right. If there's ever a kryptonite potentially for the Penguins, it might be the Flyers. And these two teams do not like each other. It's like if NBC wishes they could have a Wednesday night rivalry every week, they could have it with these two teams. I will start with you, Mr. Martinet, on the Battle of Pennsylvania.
I have the Flyers winning in 6 against the Penguins. I think it's the Penguins. This has nothing to do with the Flyers, really. I think it's honestly the Penguins have played too much hockey in a span of 3 years, and I don't think they're built enough for a three-peat. I think the Flyers have a lot of great talent, similar to the Blue Jackets, but I think it's developing at the right time. I mean, anytime you can come back from a 10 straight loss or 10 straight losses in November or December and still make the playoffs, I will say that they are primed to upset Pittsburgh. And I think they got the right opponent to do so.
All right, Gentry.
Pennsylvania. Oh, God. I've got Flyers in 7. I think that, the Flyers are just going to beat the crap out of Pittsburgh. And as Alex said, they had a bunch of games that they played within the last 3 years, whereas Philly is fresh and they're angry and they're going against a rival. And I think Claude Giroux might just walk all over it. The Penguins defense. And I just honestly, and Matt Murray, this in his full season, actually not a full season, just wasn't getting it done for Pittsburgh. And I think it's going to come down to goaltending. And if hopefully if Brian Elliott's back and ready to go, I think he might steal the series for him.
All right, Landy.
God, I just hope you all are right, because I can't stand Pittsburgh getting into the next round. But that said, I don't see how you can bet against Crosby, Malkin, and Kessel. I mean, I have Pitt in 6, and that's like me biting my tongue because I seriously hate that franchise. I hate how blessed they've been with players. I hate how their ownership always whines and complains and gets what they want from the NHL. It's I don't know. Like I said, it makes me bite my tongue, vomit in my mouth, whatever you want to say. But I've got Pittsburgh in 6. I just don't see how Philadelphia can rattle off, 4 wins against that team.
Unfortunately, I'm kind of with Landy on this one. I just think Sid will get away with stuff as usual, and
don't forget he'll cheat in the face-off circle.
That's right, as we all know. But I would say it won't be easy. I think this will be banged up. They'll be banged up, and and Penguins might be having a rough time going into round 2.
We are Pittsburgh,
Pittsburgh.
mighty Pittsburgh.
Oh, yes. If you haven't seen that, check out Knob Hockey on YouTube about Pittsburgh. My question to you guys is how many brawls are we going to have in the first 4 games of the series? Really quick.
I just really want to see Giroux like take the butt end of a stick and punch Sidney Crosby out. Like, just give me that, please.
Therefore, Claude Giroux will be suspended 6 games by the national. Oh wait, that wasn't Rafi Torres. My bad. Alex, what do you expect from this series? Because you know this is going to be a nasty series.
This is going to be a nasty series. It might just simply come down to who takes the less penalties and executes on the power play. I think the Flyers have a decent chance, but I think it's going to rely mostly on how they execute on the special teams. Pittsburgh's top 2 lines is better than the Philadelphia Flyers, but I think Claude Giroux's healthy. You can at least spare your guys a little bit more time. I'm just worried that.
All right. Jen?
I think it's going to come down. Uh-oh.
Gotcha. Uh-oh. Alex is AOLing.
Uh-oh. But no,
yeah, he's AOLing hard.
Yeah, but anywho, I just think right now it's it's going to come down to. Are we?
Alex, are you? Hang on, we'll get you back in a second.
And it might be.
There we go.
Hey,
there you are. Okay, really quick.
Did you get any of that?
No,
not particularly. Go.
I literally just spent like 3 minutes of talking about whatever. But it's going to come down to special teams. And for the most part, if Pittsburgh spends too much time in the penalty box, that will be the key difference. I have a feeling the Flyers are going to get called for a lot more stuff compared to Pittsburgh, which has always been the case. And it might be the case where in the second period it's already 4-1 because Pittsburgh does have a decent power play and transition game.
All right. I say that game 1 will feature a boatload of penalties. We might have some arrests. Who knows? I still say Pittsburgh pulls it out. AJ goes Flyers in 7. So overall, because I don't have a nice graphic here, Landy, you in the East go with?
I got Caps, Tampa Bay, Boston, and Pittsburgh.
All right. Gentry?
Let's see who my choices were. I got Tampa Bay, Flyers, Washington, and Toronto.
All right. Alex?
I got the Caps, Tampa Bay, Boston, and the Flyers.
All right. And yours truly has Toronto, Tampa, Columbus, and Pittsburgh. So let's see what we got going on in the chat so far. Let's see. Is the game, the Pennsylvania series starts tomorrow?
I think so.
Where's my schedule? I'm pulling up. Thank you, NHL.com. The games for tomorrow are Minnesota at Winnipeg, Philly at Pittsburgh, and LA at Vegas. So those are your games for on the docket tomorrow night for the opening night of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Chat, let's see what we got going on with you. New Jersey all the way for A012345. Mike will say that once we get to the Sharks here. Let's see what else is here. Everyone keeps forgetting no camp. I don't know. We'll save that one for it. Let's see. Sleepy Mofo, the Flyers win the cup this season. We won't hear the end of it from the city of Philadelphia.
Hey, that's fine because you know what? They're the better Pennsylvania team.
Ouch. Rob Iman with the Fact or Fiction. We'll go around really quick, guys. Fact or Fiction, there will be 5 suspensions in the Pens Flyers series.
Fiction.
Fiction, Gent?
Fiction. There will be more than 5.
Yeah, I agree with Gentry. I take the over on this one.
Sleepy Mofo, NHL needs Pittsburgh to advance for the sake of ratings. SoCal Hockey Fan 97, thanks for joining us tonight. Elliot is ready to go. He was awesome before he got injured. I hate the Pens. Couldn't tell.
Yeah, we all do. Welcome to the club.
Yes. Jose Chavez, never mind. Pitt and 4. Wow. Wow. All right.
That must be Hockey Jerk.
Okay.
You jerk.
All right. So we shall move on. And Landy, what do you call the West?
The better conference.
Thank you very much. And we get things rolling with the Cinderella Colorado Avalanche taking on the President's Trophy winner Nashville Predators. Oh boy. Can this series end in 3 games, guys? I just don't see it happening here for Colorado. I think they maybe get a game in at home, but I think Nashville wins it in 5 games. Alex, what says you?
I have to be in the same boat, but I will say, though, that if Colorado does put up a good fight, they do have the speed to take on Nashville, and that is something Nashville does have a trouble of handling. So it wouldn't surprise me if it makes it to 5 or 6, but I don't see them winning it. They just don't have enough offensive weapons to take on Nashville.
All right. Entry? Nashville or Colorado?
I have Nashville in 5. I think, with all the injuries that Colorado currently has, with Varlamov being out and with, Eric Johnson being out, those are 2 huge players for them. I think Nathan McKinnon, is just going to, steal a game for them, scoring an OT winner or scoring a hat trick in one of those games. But other than that, I just think the depth on Nashville is ridiculous, and their defense is healthy, and Rene is at the top of his game right now. So I just think Nashville in 5.
All right, Landy.
This is the only series that I picked to sweep. I mean, I give Colorado a 5% chance to get 1 game. That's how bad this series is for them. I mean, Nathan McKinnon is only one man, and they took really big strides this year. They have some really, really great pieces, but look, their back end woefully understaffed. This is pick your poison on Nashville.
It's gonna be tough. I think they could probably win this series with one arm tied behind their back. It is what it is, but I say 5 for Nashville. I'm getting AJ 4, and they only ice Rene and Subban against the Avalanche. Come on, that's ridiculous. All right,
are you sure?
We've all been waiting.
I would say, are you sure Joe Sakic is not going to play today or play?
No, unfortunately, no Peter Forsberg, no Patrick Waugh.
You got
no. Ray Bourque is coming out of retirement, guys.
That's right. Don't forget Stefan Yell, folks. All right, now the series you've all been waiting for. Get ready, folks. That's right. It's Minnesota and Winnipeg.
The Min win.
Oh God.
That's right. The 2 teams series, you guys love to make fun of.
Puck guy hard.
If this series could go 8, he'd love it.
Exactly. All right. So Winnipeg with a fantastic year. I mean, guys, we got to give it up to Winnipeg for a phenomenal year. Minnesota, you ignorant sluts, for ruining home ice for the Sharks on Saturday night. Before I get to my predictions, I'll ask Mr. Gentry, who do you like, Minnie or Winnie?
I'm going to go with Winnie in 5, because I just think that Connor Hellebuyck is just going to, stop the Minnesota Wild at all costs. And I also think that Minnesota is too banged up right now. They've got, what is it? They got, 25% of Zach Parise and Ryan Suter is out, and Jonas Brodin is questionable to start. Devin Dubnyk is he has his moments, but I just think right now it's just this is Winnipeg's year to cause some damage.
Landy.
Yeah, I mean, I have the Jets in 5. Look, I mean, who the hell is gonna play the other, the 35 minutes that freaking Ryan Suter's on the ice? I mean, for Christ's sake, I mean, and Jonas Brodin, what are they gonna do? Trot out Matt Dumber for 45 minutes? I mean, seriously, guys, it's not really much. I mean, I would have picked this in a sweep, but I have faith that Eric Stahl might win a game himself, but that's about it.
All right, Alex.
I would say, unlike Colorado, I don't see a way for the Wild to get a game out of this. I think Winnipeg is just too fast, and they can play multiple ways. This is an easy sweep, to say the least. 4 games, no overtime at all either.
Oh.
Yeah.
8-0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I love this. Charlie Coyle to defense, a la Brett Burns.
Oh, I'm sure Minnesota's version of that guy is probably having a field day right now as we speak.
I already know what Eric's going to pick. It's going to be a draw because he just doesn't know who to pick because he just can't. It's like choosing like which child should I shoot? Oh, I don't know.
It's Sophie's choice.
Yes. Well,
since the Sharks since the Minnesota Wild are kind of like the Sharks Northwest, I would say this would probably be the time for them to prove the doubters wrong, and it wouldn't surprise me if they win the series just to fuck with everyone.
Yeah, mind fuck right there.
So yeah, that is literally if that happens, it confirms my theory about the Minnesota Wild at that point. But no, this is going to be a 4-game series.
This series will be the second best series of the playoffs. It only lasts 4 games, but all the games will go into quintuple overtime. And I'm congratulating the Winnipeg Jets on sweeping the Minnesota Wild. Winnipeg Whiteout, get ready, folks.
Burn your hat.
Get ready. That's all I'm going to say. I think Liney's going to look good. I think that Stasny, Wheeler, Scheifele, you have a good, decent defense there. I think Winnipeg's got the pieces to maybe shock some more people down the road. The only question is whether or not Connor Buck will do anything. So in his playoff debut, however, I think we saw on Saturday night, Gent, in person, Devin Dubnyk can shock some people as well.
Oh yeah,
it's going to be short, but oh so great. That's what she said.
Wow.
Oh no, I just think right now is like Devin Dubnyk. He's the one holding Minnesota together, and I think they just don't have the pieces. They don't have the cap space to really fix the problem because they signed the albatross that is Zach Parise to that long contract. This is Winnipeg's series to just dominate. They've just got too much firepower because you think, oh, we'll stop the first line, of Scheifele, Wheeler and Kyle Connor, and then it's like, oh, but then we have a second line of, and that features, the second highest scoring, player in Patrick Laine and his wonderful neckbeard.
Yeah, I really do think though that if the Wild were to upset, they have to really do start with Game 1 because the Jets haven't won a playoff game in their franchise history quite yet. I'm not too sure if that goes back to Atlanta, but
that does go back to Atlanta.
Yeah, so.
And it wouldn't put the fear of God into the Jets fans if they lost Game 1. I mean, like they'd be just pissing that little bit in the stands. It's just like. What are they doing it again?
Right. Oh, totally. And you bring up an excellent point, Alex. If Minnesota steals Game 1, that doubt gets into the Winnipeg fans big time, and no doubt that this team can handle adversity to come back from it. But man, that would be a huge upset, in my opinion, if Minnesota takes out Winnipeg, and quite conceivably gives Nashville an easy walk to the Western Conference Final again. Now, guys, though, let's take a break. Let's go to casinos for a little bit. That's right. We talked about probably the most anticipated series, that was Minnesota-Winnipeg, to the series of the douchebags. That's right, Los Angeles and the expansion Vegas Golden Knights. That's right, the expansion team that gets everything, wins the Pacific Division. LA clings on to the first wild card after having a chance to win home ice on the final day of the season. I wish this series would just not happen and we can put in Calgary and Edmonton instead, but unfortunately the rules are against that. So let's see, who should I start with this one with? I'll start with Gentry on this one. LA, Vegas. Who do you have?
This is going to come as a shock, but I have LA in 4 games.
Whoa.
Hot take incoming.
Gent.
Okay, and here's the thing. It's kind of like the thing where it's like there's certain teams when you go into the playoffs, you're built for that style of hockey. And I just think the Cinderella story that is the Golden Knights is going to end. And I think I just think that you have a bunch of mid-tier guys that have overperformed in Vegas, whereas in LA you've got Kopitar, who reemerged and has become a destroyer of worlds, and Dustin Brown somehow managed to go through an entire season without taking out somebody's knees. So, and Jonathan Cook, we all know, can stand on his head plenty of times. So I just think that Vegas's time is over, and I think LA is going to make quick dispatchment of them, a la like they did against the Vancouver Canucks.
Did somebody say Vancouver?
No, nobody said Vancouver.
Somebody said Vancouver.
God, make the playoffs first. How about that?
Yeah.
All right. And with that little outburst, Mr. Martinet, who do you have, Vegas or the Kings?
I have I have the Kings in 6. I haven't been impressed with Vegas throughout the regular season. I thought they were gift wrapped a schedule, playing the first 9 games at home to start the season. It's a great story with the Vegas shooting that happened in November or October. They built off of that. They didn't really have much of a slump. I really do like the new additions that the Kings got in the trade deadline. I thought that really did bolster their defensive lineup. Surprisingly, I thought their weakness this year was their defensive lineup. Their forward depth is really good. Dustin Brown is having a great season, which I feel like throwing up now saying that. But Kopitar is still a top center in the league still, and Doughty's still a great defenseman. Quick is still fantastic. Vegas has got a bad matchup, and I think the biggest issue is that if Thomas Tatar is not the difference maker they got from Detroit, and that's going to be for that series.
All right, so all of you are going with LA. Landy, Gentry, Alex, you ignorant sluts.
Hey, I didn't take my pick yet.
Oh, well, what's your pick then?
Okay.
Sorry, my bad.
So originally I have LA in 6, and you've all heard their reasoning, but I just remembered one thing. There are 2 pieces that are not scheduled to play for LA in the series. That would be Jake Muzzin and Derek Forbort. If Vegas has any slivering of an opening, that's it. If they can figure out a way to hem the Kings in their own end and play that super quick style of game, they have a shot. That being said, I'm with you guys with the playoff experience. I think LA's just got too much. But you know what? I could see it. If there is a kind of a series that I'm kind of a pick 'em on, it's that one.
So you can't have a pick 'em, Landy. There's no fun in that, bud.
No, I know. I have LA. LA in 6 is my pick, but I'm saying this is like the ripest for overturning my pick.
Gotcha. Now, Landy, Gentry, Alex, you ignorant sluts. Have you ever heard of a hockey team in the West Coast that has so much love from the NHL? I mean, my God, this team is actually semi-decent. Fleury, okay, hasn't won a big series in a little bit, but that's okay because they're gonna get everything. Remember, they paid $500 million for the team. I say the Knights win it in 6 games. Gracious for the NHL to give them a free concert to help the playoff series. I wonder where that was for San Jose or any other team in the league. Oh, well, doesn't matter. But the Knights, I think, have a good depth along all 4 lines. Yes, Tatar is an issue. But it'd be interesting to be the stable goaltending between Fleury and Quick. Who will lose it first, you know? I say Vegas wins it in 6 games, continues the Cinderella story that we all don't want to have happen. All right. The moment you've all been waiting for. It's now time to preview the matchup between the Anaheim Ducks and your San Jose Sharks.
Yay!
Confetti!
All right, so a head-to-head matchup here, and thank you, Mr. Strong, for doing our research of sorts here. Head-to-head, the Sharks won this series 3-1. Anaheim did get 2 loser points in this. Goals 11-7. It was a very close matchup there. Power play, hey, they weren't bad. 3 for 12 in this 4-game series, along with Anaheim's 1 for 8 on the power play. And let's be honest here, the Sharks are going to be the recipient of playing the team that's the most penalized in the NHL. So, Mr. Alexander, not that your outfit, says much, but which way you might be going, or let alone all of ours. Let's talk about what you expect from the Sharks and Ducks series.
I think the Ducks.
Are you Mr. Gentry?
Mr. Alex, I'm sorry. That's right. I forgot Alex is Alexander, but I never called you Alexander. Gentry, by all means, go ahead, sir. I'm sorry, Alex. We'll get you in a sec.
For me, it's going to come down to, the Sharks have no excuse to lose this series. Gibson's out and Cam Fowler is out. Those are 2 huge pieces for them to be missing at this point in time in the playoffs. You have no excuse. If you lose this, sell the farm, you're done. But I think that this is going to be a really tough series for the Sharks to get through because Anaheim has always been giving them issues. But really, the X factor for the Sharks to win it in 7 is the power play. If you don't capitalize on that power play, you're done. Bye-bye.
All right. Mr. Martinet, your thoughts of this series?
Is there someone else called Alexander or Alex on here? I'm just kidding.
Well, that's his last name. I'm sorry. Let's go ahead, sir.
Okay. I do think it's going to come down to who capitalizes on the special teams. I think the Ducks are starting to get healthy at the right time. I know they're losing Gibson. They lost Gibson a week ago. But Ryan Miller is a decent backup, and he's had some great moments against the San Jose Sharks. I've been going back and forth on this, but I just think that the Ducks have the right players getting healthy at the right time, and I think the Ducks are going to win in 7.
All right, Mr. Landy.
Yeah, Landy predicted 5 games for LA and San Jose that one year we went to the Cup. So Landy's taken the Sharks in 5 games against the Anaheim Ducks. Here's why. When you have one Cam Fowler and one Kevin Bieksa, now, yes, Kevin Bieksa is a walking pylon or skating pylon, but he still is part of their defense. When you have those two missing and you have a third pair consisting of, well, to put it lightly, 2 no-namers, but Pedersen and Walensky. There we go, Walensky. Yeah, the Sharks are going to eat that third pairing alive. And look, their top 4 ain't much better either. I mean, Francois Beauchenet and Brandon Montour. I mean, look, Montour's a great player, but God, Beauchemin is like ancient. And that Manson-Lindholm pairing is really nice. I will give them that. I like that first pairing that they've got. But, oh, boy. Yeah, that defense, 3 out of the 6 of them are not great. Now, you look over on the Sharks end on the defensive side, the one question mark you have is Paul Martin. And, I mean, dear God, if that's your only question mark in defense, that ain't bad. That is not bad at all. And if you falter a game, you can put Joakim Ryan in there and, smooth sailing. I will give the slight edge to the forward core on Anaheim. I mean, just going through, Anaheim probably has more star caliber forwards than the Sharks do. But if you're looking at breadth of lineup and breadth of points spread across the board, the Sharks win in that area. So while you want to go star for star power, I think Anaheim wins. But if you want to go breadth of a lineup, I think you go Sharks. And then on the goaltending, look, Gibson is yes, he's going to be a great goaltender. I mean, he is the anointed one in Anaheim, but he's buckled. He's buckled under pressure, and he's one of those kind of goaltenders that it's like, you got to show it to me, bud. You got to win a Western Conference final. Those guys have to win in Game 7. And they have Randy Carlyle, which is one of the worst head coaches in the NHL. So,
wow.
Guys, I understand why a lot of people are going 7 games, but I just see that defense, and it's riddled with patchworks. And if you're relying on Ryan Miller as your number 1 goaltender, yeah, he's given the Sharks fits before, but the Sharks have also lit him up too.
That's very true. I mean, they did put up 6 goals in 1 game against both goaltenders on in a January game in Quackenheim. But to me, I think it's tough. But Gentry, you made my point right on the head. This is going to be a place where the power play needs to come through, and I'll bang on AJ's power play drum all day long. But this is the key. They've out-hit this team nearly 2-1 the 4 games that they played. The Sharks are not that type of a hitting team. To the point where I say the power play, if you don't make them pay on the power play and get them off their game to be more disciplined, they're just going to keep throwing whatever at you, and it's not going to look good. That being said, you also have the questionable of Dylan DeMello as well. We don't know how he'll handle it in going forward into this series, and he's struggled a bit. Another key factor, Evander Kane. He pops his playoff cherry. Let's see how he looks as we go into the postseason. That should be quite interesting as we go down the road. But realistically, the Sharks should be this team, no matter who's in net, whether it's Gibson or Miller. I think these guys need to get on the same page, and if they do, then they should win in 6, like I'm going to predict. Winning at home and prep for the Golden Knights. But let me ask you guys this. I want 1 X factor from each of you. Gent, I'll start with you. 1 from San Jose, 1 for Anaheim. That would be a potential unsung hero for both teams.
Ooh. Oh. Let's see. I'm going to go with Anaheim. I'm going to go with Raquel. I think he's got a, like he's just talented and he just plays the right way. He just happens to play for the wrong team. I mean, and then for for the Sharks, I think this is going to be one of those things where speed kills, and I think this is going to be Donskoy's series to shine. He's got the creativity. I think he's going to be able to put it together. And if he's playing with Pavelski and if he's playing with Kane, he's gonna have some good looks from those guys. So I'm going to go with Donskoy.
All right, Alex, who do you expect as an X factor for one for each side?
So for the Ducks, I think it's going to be really important for the Ducks if Ryan Kessler gets off to a hot start. For the most part, they really do need that second line scoring. He's been kind of hit and miss this regular season. I would say the Sharks are going to kind of double up Ryan Getzlaf and Corey Perry. Try to eliminate that pairing as much as possible. But that is going to be one of the matchups to watch. For the Sharks, though, it's going to depend on Paul Martin, though. How many times does he get on the ice? And does he stop doing those stupid playoff things like he did a couple years ago where he just doesn't play his assignment right? That's the person I'm kind of looking at the most, because if Joakim Ryan is not going to play in the first round, it really is going to come down to Paul Martin for 10-minute stretches.
All right. Landy, one from each side, Ducks and Sharks.
Yeah. I am with Al on this. It's right line, but wrong person. I take Jakob Silfverberg. He just has that innate ability to kick it up a notch in the playoffs. And I see Puck guy over there is hitting himself. But yeah, I mean, that's the guy. Because, I mean, he for whatever reason, that kid just loves playoff time. For the Sharks, it's going to be Mr. number 48, and he is going to really have a coming out party. I think this is going to be Hurdle's time to really show that he's a playoff performer. Somebody was saying he had his first 2020 season this year. Yeah, he did. Took some major league steps. And he's going to be really key for the Sharks, either deployed as a center or as a winger.
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to go with you. Actually took the two I was going to say, Landy. So I'm going to do two different ones. For Anaheim, I'm going to go, and forgive me for all those who can't stand him, Henrique. It's over. Adam Henrique for the Ducks. I think he's that two-way forward that can give the Sharks some fits here. For the Sharks, you can say the whole bottom six would be a huge X factor, as we've seen in the past, but I only said one, so I'm going to say
there's one big one.
This is the time you talk about Hurdle. I'm going to say Timo Meier is his time to shine. Playing that two-way game of hockey and getting scoring, and maybe get under Anaheim's fingernails, I think, a little bit, because I think he could be a huge factor in the long run for the Sharks to kind of get that version of Henrique, which is a two-way forward, but a power-moving forward that can score and also give them fits. Like Burge 7F91, Evander Kane, is he going to return to form or be like last game with minimal production?
He's gonna be so hyped up, and you know what? Damned injuries, like that kid, he's gonna play his heart out.
What do you guys think about Joe Thornton? Is he gonna play this series, potentially next series?
I have this sneaking suspicion that he's gonna be kind of a ringer, and I say that we'll see him game 2 or game 3.
I'm kind of with you, Landy, in that sense. I think maybe game 3 or maybe game 4. If this team is down 2-1 next Wednesday night going into game 4, which, by the way, game 4 will be on the Golf Channel. And here's Joe Thornton on a par 4. Go! And he slips it past the 5-hole of Ryan Miller. I just think that the forwards need to take advantage of Fowler being out. If Jumbo comes back, that'd be a huge asset. But the question here, guys, is you kind of throw off the chemistry a little bit. Could that be something of a concern?
No, because what you
No.
do is you would just to get Thornton back into to the rhythm of things. You put Joe on the fourth line. Shelter his minutes a little bit, and then you only use him for power play.
Oh my God! If you deployed him as a fourth line center, dear Jesus. Eric, I just wanted to piggyback off the two players that you had, because I had my other two were going to be this. We're going to be on the same lines as you picked. Andre Kasha.
Yep.
And he for whatever reason, his name is just like really standing out to me as a player that might be the thorn on the Sharks' side. The other guy, though, is I really want to see Chris Tierney on Adam Henrique. That is going to be the little game within the game that I'm going to be looking at, because look, LeBanc and Meyer and Tierney versus Henrique, Ritchie, and Casa. Oh my Kasha, that's just that. Oh, it's going to be so fun to watch.
It's you know what I think, guys. I think we all agree. No matter what, this is going to be a very entertaining series, and a very hard fought series. You hope. No disrespect, not true. You hope that LA Vegas doesn't end short, because you're going to have plenty of rest while these teams battle it out here, for sure. Let's see what says you, chat. I'm thinking you're going with Sharks in this. And in fact, if you haven't checked out Teal Town USA on the Twitter machine, we did put up a poll asking you about which way you would pick on this series. So we'll pull that up in just a sec. But in the chat, SoCal Hockey Fan 97, you were on Ducks and Pucks. No, Ducks and Pucks was on us, so check that out on tealtownusa.com. Should be interesting. Hockey Jerk says Penguins in 3. What else did you expect from
the world's biggest Penguin fan?
Yeah, exactly. I just think, yeah. Yes. Let's see. What else are we looking here? Oh, Mike Nevis in the chat. Fact or fiction? Matt Irwin wins a cup before Jumbo.
Fact.
Yeah.
Oh, dang.
Well, I spoiler alert, I have Winnipeg being Nashville in the next series.
I would too. Hockey Jerk agrees 1,000% with Gentry. That's nice.
Which series?
I'm not sure. Jerk, if you're still on, let us know which one. California Cruising, the Vegas home games will just be another home game for the Kings.
Agreed.
That's true.
All right, so the question here, and this will put a bit of a fact or fiction onto you guys. Fact or fiction? A California team will go to the Western Conference Final for the 9th straight season.
Fact.
So that is a 4-way all around for a fact, because if you haven't noticed, San Jose in 2010 and 2011, LA in 2012, 2013 and 2014, Anaheim in 2015, the Sharks in 2016, Anaheim again in 2017.
Yeah.
So it's a great time to be around for California hockey in this whole decade. I mean, the California Gauntlet has really come to show. So that's definitely.
So in the second round, the Sharks would play potentially the Predators, or
no, there's no reseeds. It's
they play the Winnipeg.
No, they play the winner of LA and
Vegas.
Yeah,
so.
Because it goes divisional round. So it's division round 1, division round 2, conference round 3, and then Stanley Cup.
Yep. Definitely. It's going to be interesting to see.
Oh man, what if we got California on California round 1 and California on California round 2. That would be fun.
It's gonna happen, I think.
Yes, and those games will be broadcasted live on the Bravo network.
See, I thought well, they wouldn't preempt the Kardashians to put us on E. So, darn it, maybe we'll go on the Esquire network or something.
And by the way, if the NHL or any other hockey entity is watching, yes, I will be using my DNS server to bypass your bullshit blackout and be watching my home broadcast for San Jose. So F you and your stupid blackout rules, because San Diego is not a part of Orange County.
Lucky you on that part. You can definitely get that. Maybe check that out on the NBC Sports app. While we make fun of the whole Golf Channel thing and how this series, I think, is the only series that's going to be aired on 4 different networks in 4 games.
Tampa Bay is going to be on the Golf Channel as well.
Yeah, they'll be on the Golf Channel as well, but I don't think they're all on 4 different networks.
That's pathetic.
This
is clearly NBC saying, "Oh, you don't want to send your stars to the Olympics? Well, F you."
Yeah, I totally agree, Gentry. I think this is definitely backlash for Olympics.
Fire Batman.
Round 3 is the outdoor network.
OLN.
That's right. Vince G. NHL on Food Network, because it's the
it's not the Stanley Cup. It's Lord Stanley's chalice. Get it right, people.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
I can't wait for the spin-offs where it's like, the Sharks, Ducks on the Food Network, followed by Ace of Cakes.
I was going to say
replica Stanley Cup with cake.
Fact or fiction? The Ocho is more important than the Golf Network. Fact.
Fiction.
No, I like Mike Nevis. Western Conference live on the California State Prison Network. Yes.
Well, only Dustin Brown is there.
So, all right, we're making much fun. So I will throw this at you before we start wrapping. Actually, before we wrap things up, guys, I want final thoughts. I want your Stanley Cup champion and where the people can find you on the social media networks. So I will start with you, Mr. Martinet.
Okay. Out in the East, I have the Flyers coming out, being the Eastern Conference champions. In the West, I have Nashville. I think that'd be a great series to watch. And then for my Stanley Cup champions, I'm going Nashville. I think they're just too talented, and a little bit of revenge after last year. But again, it wouldn't surprise me also after coming that close, they might be a little bit tired, not rested. So it might be someone else from the West. So I have Nashville being my Stanley Cup champions. For everything else, you can find me on Twitter at Al Martinet. I've been doing a bunch of stuff for the Spartan Daily. And yeah, that's about it.
All righty. Mr. Landy, your final thoughts?
For all your hot take needs, please follow Al Martinet.
You're all gonna laugh at me if the Flyers actually made.
All I'm only gonna say is, all right, it'll be the brightest Stanley Cup final ever. You have yellow versus orange.
No, last year was yellow on yellow. I don't know if it can be any worse than last year.
Well, that was a pisser then.
For me, my heart says it's Sharks in Boston, but my mind probably says I'm going to say it's Winnipeg and the East. Winnipeg and Tampa Bay.
Who's the winner?
Oh boy, NBC is going to have a great time with that. Yeah. Who's your winner there?
Tampa Bay. I'll pick
Gotcha.
Tampa Bay. For if you guys want to follow me on all that social media garbage, just use my first name and my last name, and you can find me.
Eric Landy, he spells it with the K, the right way, of course. Notch, bro, your final thoughts, your Stanley Cup final prediction and champion, and where the people can find you.
Let's see. Out in the East, I'm going to go. I don't know. I feel like there's going to be an upset. I'm going to say Toronto is going to make it to the Cup final. And in the West, I'm going to say that somehow, after bitching and whining about it, the Edmonton Oilers will somehow sneak in there.
Okay, let's try that again.
In the East, or no, sorry, in the West,
You mean Arizona Coyotes, right?
yes, the hottest team going into the playoffs.
Right.
I think it's part of me just. I'm gonna go with Sharks. I gotta go with my heart. I gotta go with my heart on this.
Wow.
The Sharks. It's gonna be, and then it's gonna be baby. There's gonna be some ill will because the Toronto Maple Leafs are still kind of pissed off that we gave them Vesa Toskala. However, I still think that the Sharks will take it, and Austin Matthews will then get traded back to his hometown.
Nice.
Yes.
All right, so you're saying Sharks and Leafs?
Sharks and Leafs, and Sharks will take it. You could find me in all my hot takery and my now four-time fantasy champion. Yeah,
Amazing
you could
how
find
that happens when he runs the whole league. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Sorry, I'm really good at drafting. Yeah, you can find me atjalexander46 on Twitter and Instagram. So check me out there. And yes, during the summer, I'm going to have my days with the Stanley Keg. So be on the lookout for those.
Yes.
Hey, wait a minute. Didn't we have a bet going, Mr. Martinet, me and you?
Regarding what?
The Sharks and Ducks series?
I don't remember such a bet.
Okay, all right.
Wait, go on. What was this all about?
Well, it happened to do with one Katy Perry song about a certain gender and a certain state and singing such a song.
Yeah, and I think the Sharks actually beat. I think you're the one that has to sing, not me.
No. If I win, you sing. And if you win, I sing.
Hey, we had Chris sing Taylor Swift on here a couple of years ago. Whichever one of you needs to sing, darn it, start getting them, California girls ready. And let's get going.
I would like to announce my resignation.
Yeah.
Oh, final thoughts here, guys. This is the best time of the year. I mean, we've gone through 6 months of grueling pain, torture, fun, excitement. I mean, we could talk about freaking Couture spinorama goal, Donskoy's dirty dangles, LeBanc just I don't know, that just seemed like freaking Fred Flintstone with that move he had in the shootout. We had the lows where we had that rough time, and then we saw Jumbo go down. Deep down inside, I think this is it, folks. I think this is finally it. I think it's set up where the Sharks go through a gauntlet. They get to the final. Yes, it's going to be tough to take on Patty and the Leafs, but and it's going to be tough to take on the entire country of Canada if that happens. But it's going to be really sweet.
The entire country of Toronto. Because I don't think anybody outside of Toronto likes the Leafs.
Well, let's put it this way: if it
who hits the crossbar and it costs the Sharks the game?
Probably Pavelski again.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I say that might be, if there's anything that happens like that. And thanks for reminding me about Johan Garpenlov there. It'll be Evander Kane, I think, if that is the case.
See, I think it's going to be more like Brent Burns putting it in the goal a la Dan Boyle.
Oh, you had to go
I
there
totally-
with Gentry on.
Totally forgot.
Let me just go with who has more own goals in a playoff series than Dan Boyle, and that is Mark-Edward Vlasic, folks.
That's
2,
true.
and one of them cost us the series against the Blues in 2012. You're welcome. $7 million.
No, hey. Martin Havlat cost us the 2012 series against the Blues, okay?
Oh, because he got net
Why, by winning a double overtime goal?
No, by existing on that team. But guys, but guys, I mean, seriously though, this season has to be a net win because Logan didn't lose any teeth this season.
Thanks, Philly.
Yes, as he would say with a mouthful of chiclets in there. But nonetheless, it's going to be fun. We're going to be with you every step of the way. I hope our games don't go into quintuple overtime, except when it's the Stanley Cup final, when the games are on at 5:00 and quintuple overtime is at 9. It's going to be fun. We want you here every step of the way. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you missed anything or you want to catch us all over doing this again, we had a bunch of interviews and stuff recently. Pucknologist came out recently. We'll have more this week. You can hit us up on teal10usa.com or your favorite podcatcher, whether it's iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, YouTube, you name it, you love it. The whole gang will be here throughout the playoffs, and this luscious beard will be growing. And I hope it'll be itching in June when it's 100 degrees outside.
Yay! We get the return of Eric the Klingon.
I mean, can you call it a beard when you can't grow it above your lip?
I gotta go back and look at the archives.
And
it's in my.
Or
it's
do
in
we
my
call it
Twitter
the Zach
somewhere.
Castian?
And to think, I thought I called him my best friend. But nonetheless, we will be back with you maybe tomorrow. We'll see. We might have a surprise up our sleeve. But we will definitely be back with you following game number 1 between Sharks and Ducks. And until then, keep it real. Keep it teal. Wait, can I get the sound effect in time? And keep it... what is it, guys?
Real Teal?
Real
Yeah,
tight?
because my phone's stuck in. Oh yeah, sure. Now it goes.
keep
Keep
it-
it real. Keep teal. Keep it real, teal. Darn thing! Why didn't I think of this earlier? Oh well. And break out your NES systems. It's time to go dunk hunting. Good night, everyone.